Back once again for the renegade master. 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 Back once again for the renegade master.
Hello my renegades, and welcome back. And what we're getting back into, Love Island series 11. We are now on episode 44, which is after the family and friends day, and I'm kind of thinking someone's heart is going to break, and it's the return of the talent show. So let's get into this episode, shall we? But before we do, as I always ask, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button, please comment, like, share, and do all the good things that you do, because I am on the road to 1k. So let us talk about it. So we get quickly to the night time, coming off from the daytime. Yeah, everybody's talking about their family time, and I'm just like, everybody's buzzing, and I'm kind of like, well, everybody is buzzing at the moment, but that happiness will too soon turn sour. That's how it normally is in the villa. You can have your highs, and then immediately straight after that you have an almighty low. So Joey and Jessie are having a chat, and basically he says he did not like to see Jessie that upset, and he apologized, but said, I apologize if I upset you and made you feel like that. And I'm like, it's not an if, mate. Like, seriously, it's not an if. And then with Joey, he doesn't then continue to have a conversation as to why he's apologizing and what happened, so he can reflect on his actions and maybe not do it again. He goes straight onto something else. Joey's saying that he said to his parents that he really likes Jessie and that she might be the one. I'm just like, it doesn't take much to impress Jessie at the end of the day. Like, seriously, like, Joey and her will be back on their bullshit very, very soon. Him being a total arsehole to Mimi and Josh at some point, or just Josh, and she'll be back to backing him, to be fair. So Mimi gets Josh, and he says to Ayo, and he says, baby girl is hollering me, so I need to go. I'm like, okay, is it now? It's baby girl now, okay. Josh is smitten for this girl, I'm telling you. But Mimi does look beautiful in her blue dress, and she ends up taking Josh up to the terrace to have a chat. So Jessica and Ayo are sitting and having a conversation while, you know, Josh and Mimi are going off to do their thing. And basically Jessica is saying to Ayo that it all went well. And I'm like, at this point, Jessica's kind of digging for information in regards to any type of conversations that he may have had with his family when she was not there. Ayo says from the moment that he met Jessica, he felt like he wanted to take care of her. And I'm going to say that's maybe because at times Jessica gives off an air of fragility. And basically she gives off this air of wanting someone to take care of her. That's the space that she puts herself in sometimes. Even though she is quite a dominant, fiery character herself, she can have that little bit of an emotional side to her too. So he says that he has mad love for Jessica, and that will always be the case. But at that point, he doesn't tell Jessica exactly what his brother had said when they were having the conversation, and his brother had brought up that he thought Ayo and Mimi would be a better fit. So you see Mimi and Josh having the chat on the terrace and basically talking about their journey and the good outcomes that they both had. He tells her that his family love her, and she said the same with her family. And as I said, I mean, the aunties, if having their way, they'll be married by the end of the year. So Ayo speaks to Kieran and basically tells Kieran what his brother had said in regards to Mimi. And in that moment, Ayo says, I told my brother that I didn't agree, but he's not brought it up to Jessica, but wants to be able to do that. But then, of course, he gets distracted by Josh and Mimi being on the terrace. And I'm like, dude, come on, focus. But all I'm going to say is, within this episode, you could really see that Josh was completely smitten with Mimi, and you could actually see it. So Ayo makes the moves to take Jessica for this chat. And Jessica is on an all-time high, but Ayo's about to bring her down, basically, in regards to what the brother said about Mimi. I do understand why Ayo had to tell her. So basically, bearing in mind, they're in a sardine can, yeah? So when they get outside, they don't know what type of information is going to be filtered through. Like, they're going to get a whole heap of shit thrown at them. And I think, especially when it comes to the reunion, that conversation will be played. So it's best Ayo tells Jessica now, so she can be aware of it and steel herself against it by that time. Once it comes out, it wouldn't be such an issue for her. He did tell her the full of it, basically, and he did tell Jessica that he did tell his brother that he didn't agree with that at all. And he said to Jessica that she's entitled to feel how she wants to feel. As I know that Jessica before that was worried that Ayo's family wouldn't like her. And this basically conversation has validated for it that she believes that the brother doesn't like her. I think that's where she can see it coming from. And you can literally see when Jessica is holding everything back. She is smiling in that moment, but you can tell that she's upset and pretend that she's okay when she's not at all. I have to say that I felt for her in that moment, because this girl can't catch a break at all. Like, seriously. Jessica believes that Ayo holds his family in opinions in high standing and that he may listen to them. And I do believe in that scope, Jessica is scared of losing Ayo. So she literally walked off and she did break down fully. And that's when Matilda saw her. And Jessica's basically saying, I can't do it anymore in that sense. She does tell Matilda, like whispers to her. And all I hope is Matilda don't open her mouth to nobody else or tell anybody else exactly what Jessica said, because she's literally saying this to Matilda in confidence. Matilda does reassure her though. So Jessica grabs Ayo and has that chat with him and says that she was gutted to hear the opposite of how they are. Ayo really didn't look like he wanted to have that conversation at all, and I thought, dude, come on, you open this freaking can of worms for this girl, at least listen to what the girl has to say in order to reassure her in any type of way. Jessica wanted him to look her in the eye, because he was just looking off, talking, but not even looking at her at all. So when he spoke to her, I was speaking to her about it, he was handling that situation disrespectfully, because Jessica, as again, was hurt and she needed him to hear her in that moment. So you see Jessica get up from that conversation, because it didn't go to plan for her. She goes and she sits down and whispers the same thing to Josh, and I'm like, that's a big bait for Jessica to do at the end of the day. What was she expecting for Josh to get mad and think and start to worry the same way she was? Because that's not fair on Josh, because at the end of the day, Josh and Mimi are in a good place. That was Ayo's brother who said that, and Ayo had already said to her as well that he didn't agree with his brother, and he told his brother why he didn't agree with that estimation of their relationship. So for her to then take it to Josh was a bit of foul play in my books, and it brought out that meaning where they say misery loves company, because she wanted the company of Josh in her misery, but that wasn't going to happen because Josh told her don't pressure it. Basically, it ain't nothing, it's an opinion. So Jessica wanted to make it clear to Ayo that she didn't need any reassurance from him, but because it came from his brother, she believed that opinion was important to Ayo. But Ayo shut it down still, and basically he didn't have to tell Jessica, but he did in a respectful way, so she wouldn't hear it from other sources. Yes, it hurt, yeah, but he kind of was trying to tell her she had nothing to worry about in the slightest. So now Jessica's basically saying in bed with Ayo that she feels like an idiot and feels like for her things have changed. And I'm thinking this is where something kind of minute is getting turned into something bigger, especially when you've had conversations about said scenarios. Do you know what I mean? It needs to start moving on from this Mimi and Ayo situation, because it ain't never going to happen. It really isn't going to happen. Mimi is happy where she is, and basically she don't need the bullshit put in her ear hole. She's happy, she's moved on. So we get to the daytime. Ayo got up looking really sad, but they are still together because they were hugging each other when they did wake up. Josh tells Ruben about what Jessica said and that she was really upset about it. And of course, Jessie and Grace overhearing exactly what Josh and Ruben were discussing, because Josh was telling Ruben about what Ayo's brother had said, basically. And Jessie and Grace are both sitting there saying that I don't agree, and Grace said the same. And I'm like, well, it ain't none of yours business. So sure, if Jessica wanted you to know what Ayo's brother had said to him, she would have come to you, but she didn't. It'd been done, it'd been squashed, that she don't need your mouthpiece in it. So Jessie's basically saying that him and Mimi are in a good place, so we ain't going to tell her something like that at the end of the day. And I hope none of the others do either. And then we have Grace and Jessie now talking about it, but don't get the context of why it was said. They don't get the context at all. Jessica says she will not let it change how she feels and trust Ao and dealt with it and trust that Ao dealt with it the best way that he could have. And I thought, well, that's a change from last night, like a real change from last night. So I think it will take on a whole new life now, because the rumour mill has now started with Grace and Jessie, because they overheard the situation. So of course you see Grace and Jessie go over to Jessica, because you know what, it's about the gossip now. It's about the gossip. They really just want to stick their beak in. They may say they're friends with this girl, and then she may hang around with them too, but if Jessica really wanted them to know, she would have told them. She didn't. So basically they said they overheard what Josh has said. And I'm glad Jessica did turn to them and said it's squashed. It doesn't need to go any further. She just, and of course this is what annoys me about Jessie, because she then turns around and says, oh well, just so you know, we completely disagree in respect of thinking Ao and Mimi are best suited. And I'm like, there was no need for that. Like, seriously, there was no need for that, because there ain't nothing wrong with Mimi, because how you're putting it is like there's something wrong with this girl, and there ain't nothing wrong with her at the end of the day. So text comes in, it's for the talent show. So Ruben, Kieran and Josh are like the small bro club, which includes Ao, but it doesn't include Joey or Sean. So that's why I wonder if they're jealous of the brohood that's developed right now, and that's why they try to keep going at Josh. Nicole did a dance, and I was like, well, damn, girl, damn. Ruben sang Singing in the Rain, and he did really well. I was well proud of him, to be fair, because he actually did the little dance too. Matilda used her feet, well, her big toes in essence, to do a little puppet show of her and Sean's journey within the villa and their date. It was, I have to admit, it was funny. It really was funny. Grace did a yoga class. I was like, it was meh. It really was meh. Went nothing home to write about. It was totally mediocre to say the least. Josh pretended to be a chef and did a pancake and waffle making masterclass. He called it the MJ waffle for Mimi and Josh. He was good. He even did the, and he was good. He made me laugh. And then Joey, oh God, came out in a baggy t-shirt, a baggy trousers, backward cap, and decided to do a rap. Stereotypical standard look, basically, because that's how Joey is. He's a stereotypical standard type of mediocre person, and he has to rip off another culture, or pseudo culture as we call it, to make himself look good. The rap was mediocre, to say the least. Let's just put it that way. And then he decided to put in at the extra added beat, and this is what I mean by Joey trying to goad people into a reaction. When I say secret mission, you say secret, I say mission. Yeah, everyone went silent, and he was like, nah, fight. You know what? That's kind of pathetic to still keep digging at Mimi and Josh, or more to point, Mimi's full of shit now. Now give it a rest. It's tired. It's done. So then Kieran comes in and shows his rugby skills. It was cool. At least it was better than the crap that Joey put on. Sean, of course, had to do the candy man. So he was giving out these sweets to each of the islanders based on what he thought they would be. So, but it was supposed to be a sweet roast. So the term roast means that you are roasting someone. You are either making fun, you are either jokingly insulting in a comedic way. That's the key of roasting someone, yeah. So Sean said, of course it had to be sweets for Jessie. He gives her a sweet teddy bear because Jessie is sweet. Oh, right. Pours teddy bears on her. I thought, I can see where this is going already. Like, seriously. Joey, he gives him a peach heart. And I'm like, absolute fucking prick. Grace, he gives her a strawberry pencil because she's sweet and beautiful. Ruben, he says this is not sold often and not everyone really likes them. Fried eggs. First dig. Okay, pattern. Mimi, he gives a giant strawberry to Mimi because he says she's always there whenever anyone wants them. Nice words, but do the sweets have a hidden meaning to them is all I'm saying. So to Josh, Sean decides to do it again to come for Josh. Gives him a sour dummy and proceeds to call Josh a dummy. Then gives a compliment to Mimi and then basically backhands her with that compliment by talking about how Josh is a dummy, thinking that Mimi wasn't trying something else with the terrace chat. I just thought, this man is something else, like absolutely something else. So he then goes on to Nicole and gives her the friendship ring. He gives Kieran a cola bottle and he says, say what you say, but it's boring like your dress sense. But my thing is, Matilda found his sweet roast hilarious. I didn't find it hilarious in the slightest. It was absolute mediocre shit. Absolute mediocre shit. Jessie comes in using stilts, and basically she says she learned how to walk on them because she was trained by a German circus people who taught her. Again, mediocrity at its bit. I was waiting for some tricks. I mean, I know I couldn't walk on them sheets, but I was waiting for some type of tricks. But she was just walking around and, you know, fanning herself with white feathers. Okay. Ayo funny. Ayo was funny as hell. He brought out a flute and I thought, oh my god, we're gonna get a concerto. This man could not play in the slightest, and I was like, all I could say was my ears, like my absolute ears. It was hella funny though. And then at first, because I thought he might have been joking because he wanted everybody to join in and sing Mary Had a Little Lamb, that's what he was playing on the flute. Didn't sound like it in the slightest. I thought, okay, this is where he trick everybody and come out with the real tune, and everybody was like, oh my god, that's really good. No, fuck, it was the fucking same shit. Let's just put it that way. And Mimi came out and sang, and she sang 1,000 miles. Josh was her biggest cheerleader there. You could see it. And I was like, whoa, Mimi can actually sing. Like, she can actually sing. Do you know what I mean? She had a bit of nerve, but you could tell that she could carry a tune in the bucket. So the text came in, and people had to pick who they believed the winner was, and that was the Islanders. Me, myself, I would have picked Mimi straight away, that she was the winner. So Mimi basically said Jessie because of what she came in. Josh went to Ruben, and Sean actually did say Mimi, but there were only the 3 acts that they said were Jessie, Mimi and Ruben, and the winner was Jessie, and that's where that episode ended. But I'll be back in quick succession with the next episode. As I always ask, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button so you know I'm doing videos. Please comment, like, share, do all good things that you do, because I am on the road to 1K. And I'll speak to you all again soon. Peace out.